In this session, we'll be knowing about International Development Association, IDA. See, IDA is another major arm of the World Bank, The International Development Association was established in 1960. IDA has presently 193 members and works with the poorest countries. It has important role in the bank's mission to reduce poverty by providing interest-free credits and grants for programs that boost economic growth, reduce inequalities, and improve people's living conditions. Okay, so this is the main mission of World Bank, and IDA also supports and works to achieve the objective or the mission of the World Bank. So now we will know what is precisely the objectives of IDA. According to Articles of Agreement of IDA, it is formed to promote economic development, increase productivity, and thus raise standards of living in the less developed areas of the world included within the association's membership, in particular by providing finance to meet their important developmental requirements on terms which are more flexible and bear less heavily on the balance of payments than those of conventional loans. So their main objective is to promote economic development among less developed countries, especially who are the members of IDI. How they do this means they give them finance to meet their important developmental requirements, and that finance will be given on flexible terms and very minimum interest rates, so that it should not burden those member countries with regarding to balance of payments. Although IDA and IBRD work closely, but the working and financing of IDA is totally independent of IBRD. It is, however, mandatory for a country to be a member of IBRD to be eligible to be a member of IDA. So both work closely, but IDA is an independent institution working and having finances of its own. But if you have to be a member of IDA, compulsorily that member country should be a member of IBRD. So let's know the structure of IDA. The structure consists of: the association has a board of governors, executive directors, a president and other officers, and staff to perform the duties. So all the powers of the association are vested in the board of governors, and the board of governors hold an annual meeting in conjunction with the annual meeting of the board of governors of the bank, that is the World Bank. So the authoritative body is the board of governors. Each member country will have a representative of its country appointed as governor in the board of governors, and once in a year board of governors meeting takes place, and these board of governors will delegate their authority to the board of directors. See, the executive directors are responsible for the conduct of the general operations of the association. So these board of governors will delegate the authority to board of directors, and the board of directors head is the president. Okay, so the president of the bank is the chairman of the executive directors of the association, but has no vote except a deciding vote in case of an equal division. He may participate in meetings of the Board of Governors but shall not vote at such meetings. The President is the chief of the operating staff of the association. Under the direction of the executive directors, he conducts the ordinary business of the association, and under their general control, he is responsible for the organization, appointment, and dismissal of the officers and staff. So the Board of Governors is the highest body. Board of Governors delegate their authority to executive directors, and executive directors delegate their authority. They appoint a president, and who in turn will take care of the day-to-day administration of a IDI institution. Okay, president works under the guidance of executive directors, and they will take care of the day-to-day activities of IDI. What are the functions of IDA? See, IDA aims to reduce poverty by providing loans and grants for programs that boost economic growth, reduce inequalities, and improve people's living conditions. Okay, mainly they give loans to improve the living conditions and improve the economic growth of the member countries and to bring down or to reduce inequalities. IBRD was established to function as a self-sustaining business and provides loans and advice to middle-income and credit-worthy poor countries. IBRD and IDI share the same staff and headquarters and evaluate projects with the same rigorous standards. IDI is one of the largest sources of assistance for the world's 82 poorest countries, 40 of which are in Africa. It is the single largest source of donor funds for basic social services in these countries. So it concentrates on poorest countries' economies to uplift such countries and bring them into the mainstream. IDA lends money on concessional terms. This means that IDA charges little or no interest and repayments are stretched over 25 to 40 years, including a 5 to 10 years grace period. So on very liberal terms and interest free, most of the time interest free loans are given to poorest countries to uplift their economy, take care of welfare activities, and uplift their social um, and economic welfare activities in those countries. In addition to concessional loans and grants, IDA also provides significant levels of debt relief through heavily indebted poor countries and multilateral debt relief initiatives since its inception. Okay, it also gives heavily indebted poor countries are there who are finding it impossible to clear their debts which they have taken from other countries. So for such countries, debt relief packages are given by IDI to see that they sail out of such debts and improve their economic conditions and bring social welfare programs into their society. IDA has supported activities in 108 countries. Okay, so IDI continuously, rigorously is working towards upliftment of poorer countries. Next, allocation criteria. The main factor, if the funds have to be allocated to various countries through IDI, what is the allocation criteria that they follow? The main factor that determines the allocation of IDA resources among eligible countries is each country's performance in implementing policies that promote economic growth and poverty reduction. So, what are the policies they are all bringing in to eradicate poverty and to increase economic growth will be studied by IDA, and this is assessed How this is assessed means this is assessed by the Country Policy and Institutional Assessment CPIA, which for the purposes of resource allocation is referred to as IDA Resource Allocation Index IRAI. The IRAI and the portfolio performance together constitute the IDA country performance rating. So there are various assessments which will be done, and based on those assessments the allocation criteria will be decided. See, the IRAI and portfolio performance together constitute the IDA country performance rating we tell CPR. But in addition to CPR, population and per capita income also determine IDA allocation. Okay, basically the allocation of IDA's resources is determined by each recipient's rating in the annual CPIA. So based on this CPIA and based on its per capita income and what to tell, and the policies that the company takes with regarding to upliftment of economy, based on these criteria the funds are allocated by IDA to member countries. So borrowing countries of IDA. If you have to borrow, the eligibility for IDA support depends first and foremost on a country's relative poverty, defined as GNI per capita below an established threshold and updated annually. So there is GNI per data will be collected, and based on that eligibility, the IDI will be deciding with regarding to its funding. IDA also supports some countries, including several small island economies that are above the operational cutoff but lack the credit worthiness needed to borrow from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Okay, so GNI will be considered if the countries have to borrow from IDI, and sometimes credit worthiness is not there means IBRD will not give them fund. For such countries also which lacks credit worthiness, and by considering the GNI per capita, funds will be given by IDI to such countries. There are also some countries such as India and Pakistan are IDI eligible based on they are eligible for IDA borrowings based on per capita income levels, and are also credit worthy for some IBRD borrowings. So they are referred to as blend countries. Okay, so they are according to per capita, Pakistan and India are eligible, and they are also eligible under IBRD too. So they are called as blend countries. So based on some criterias which are set by IDA and IBRD, the funds will be borrowed to, will be transferred to such countries. See, IDA emphasizes broad-based growth, including sound economic policies, rural development, private business, and sustainable environmental practices. Then it also emphasizes with regarding to investment in people, in education and health, especially in the struggle against HIV, AIDS, malaria, and TB. So when they are giving funds to various member countries, they stress that all these aspects have to be concentrated on, and funds should be utilized for overall upliftment of the society, which includes all these aspects or all these components. Then IDA also emphasizes for expansion of borrower capacity to provide basic services and ensure accountability for public resources, recovery from civil strife, armed conflict, and natural disaster. For these also they tell funds has to be allocated, and then promotion of trade and regional integration. So when funds are allocated, all these components or all these aspects have to be considered by that member country. Funds should be allocated for all upliftment of all these activities, and then the report will be submitted to IDA. So if IDA funds are utilized efficiently, there will be continuous support of IDA for uplifting such underdeveloped and poor countries in the world. Thank you.